You had mentioned, the way that you address, an individual experiencing homelessness is different than the way that you experience, and is different than the way that you address a family experiencing homelessness. Could you restate that real quick?
Yeah, so what I was saying is, we've watched a lot of our missions have to pivot what they do
Hmm.
because that 36% rise in families experiencing homelessness. So they've had to shift what they do because the way you care for an individual versus the way you care for a family are two totally different things. And I love what's happening here at the Fresno mission. They are actually, you can't see it where the camera's positioned, but they actually just completed and will open next month a
Wow.
family shelter I'm actually sitting on a soccer field that looks like a little minor league soccer field that they put together for families.
Oh, yeah.
Over my shoulders, an amazing playground for the kids. I mean, it's pretty remarkable what they've done because they saw that need and have built this shelter to meet that need.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I remember Matt talking about that earlier. I think it was August at the CEO summit. He was talking about that soccer field. I think that's absolutely incredible. Um, what do you think are some of like the major barriers that here at Winchester, as currently we're only able to serve individual men or women who are experiencing homelessness. What are, in your opinion, from what you've seen, some of the biggest barriers to somebody actually exiting a situation from when they're experiencing homelessness?
So one of the barriers that's becoming more and more apparent, and again, we see this all throughout the country, is I've had the last year or so to be able to not just know what's happening in Winchester, but know what's happening all across the country, is how difficult it is and expensive it is to get help. When you're looking at substance use disorder issues, it is very expensive to
Mm.
find recovery and really cheap to stay in your addiction. So that's one of the big barriers to helping people get out of the situation. Is just the lack of available resources for somebody to recover. The other big barrier, already kind of mentioned, is just the price of housing.
Mm.
So for all of my Winchester family, I wouldn't even say friends, but family, when the Thomas family moved to Colorado, we actually had a big sticker shock to the
Mm.
price of housing. It was expensive in Winchester, but doesn't hold the candle to what it was like in Colorado when we moved
Mm.
there. And so, all that to say, housing is so expensive. So even if you can help somebody recover, the cost to getting into housing is so high. It would almost trigger relapse when somebody realizes how almost out of reach
Mm.
housing is. And so this really is a humanitarian disaster that's going to take a whole lot of resources from different angles to help somebody not only get healthy and well, but to actually exit homelessness for good.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, we've definitely seen that. And John Jewell, who was here just a little while ago, I mean, he was talking about rising housing costs and how Winchester for the last 2 years has been one of the fastest growing, or the fastest growing kind of metropolitan area in the state of Virginia. And what do you happen to know what the population is there in Fresno?
So the population here in Fresno is about 500,000. It's actually the same population as Colorado Springs. And one of the reasons why I actually chose to come here wasn't just for the weather, but it was because of the size that made it equal to Colorado Springs, where I'm currently living.
Hmm. So I think sometimes, here in Winchester, we can almost look at homelessness as like this unsolvable issue. And what do you think can be done to really help solve it? Like what are you seeing, from your experience here in Winchester to, the opportunities that you've had to connect with other rescue missions? What are you seeing that can really help solve that, help solve that issue, because it's definitely one that can just seem like overwhelming, and unsolvable. What are you seeing that other rescue missions have done to get creative and helping address some of that?
Sure. So one of the things I would say first and foremost is I believe homelessness is solvable, and it's
Mm,
solvable, and I believe that really because of my experience in Winchester. The
mm,
way I watched the community come around and help, that's what gave me the help, the fuel,
mm,
and the hope to do what I currently do. Because you know, as I experienced Winchester caring for people the way it did, I know that that's possible everywhere. And so I understand the sentiment that it's so overwhelming that
mm,
there's a fear we can't solve it. I just don't think that's true. And
mm,
it's what I'm giving my life to say, no, that's not true. We can solve this. And not only what I've got to experience in Winchester, but also what I've seen around the country, the innovation, like what's happening here in Fresno. It's pretty remarkable, the things that I've seen in Birmingham with the Love Lady Center, and
mm,
hopefully you get to talk to those guys later today. But one of the most amazing, loving communities of people I've seen is what's happening at the Love Lady Center in Birmingham, Alabama. There are so many great resources all around the country that the more we communicate, the more we work together,
mm,
the more we're going to be able to create better programs, better services in our missions to tackle the issue of homelessness. And so I have high hopes that in the next couple of years, that continued rise in homelessness that we see, we're eventually going to see a decline, and
mm,
it's going to be an effect because of what the missions of City Gate Network are doing.
mm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely love that. Ryan and I, Ryan Dirk, down in Greenville, he and I were talking just maybe about an hour ago or so, and we were talking about the benefits, that we've experienced with our time with Citygate Network. You've sat kind of on, and I don't want to say both sides, like it's a two-sided thing, but you've sat on a ministry rescue mission side, and you've sat on the side of, working there for and with Citygate Network. What do you think is the biggest benefit of Citygate Network to organizations, different rescue missions, and similar organizations?
Yeah, so beyond anything, it's the community and the
Mm,
best practices.
yeah.
So many people set out to help in the homeless sphere, and frankly, have no business doing it because they don't really know
Mm,
what they're doing, and oftentimes what they do can create uh, it can actually make the problem worse.
mm-hmm,
And what I love about Citygate Network is the sharing of best practices to say it's not okay to have a subpar organization. It's not okay to just be good enough.
mm-hmm.
But if we're going to step into this space, we're not just offering three hots and a cot or soup, soap, and salvation.
Yep.
But if we're going to step into this space, we're going to do it with the highest level of integrity. We're going to do it with the highest level of resources that we can get to make sure that we're actually solving the problem. We're seeking outcomes, not just outputs.
Mm,
And what
yeah.
you see in so many organizations that are lone rangers is they will tell you how many people they fed, they will tell you how many people that they slept, but they won't be able to tell you how many people they've actually helped exit out of homelessness
Mm,
because they're unwilling to attach themselves to an organization like Citygate that helps to offer that accountability to make sure that what you're doing actually is
mm.
credible and well done.
Yeah. What? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely love that. Ryan and I mentioned both of those things, kind of best practice, and this level of kind of professionalism and certification that comes with being a Citygate kind of affiliate member. And the second was the relationships that you get to build. Both Ryan and I were talking about that, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I love. This level of accountability and prayer. I mean, Jack from I can't remember the city up in Water
Water Street
Street.
in Lancaster,
Yes, Lancaster.
Lancaster,
Lancaster.
or however you say
Yeah,
it.
come on, come on. Yeah, he'll be offended that you said that. Lancaster. Yeah,
I
I mean,
know.
he shot me a message and he was like, "Lauren, just wanted to reach out, tell you that I'm praying for you, and just that I hope your event goes well. And really that meant so much to me. I've had a handful of people, other leaders within the Citygate network do that for me. And yeah, this has just been an absolutely um, incredible organization to be a part of, and I'm definitely grateful for it. Definitely
So
grateful for it.
as you know, as I know, a lot of Winchesters, hopefully watching, I guess my sales pitch would be, you get the biggest bang for your buck when you're wanting to put it towards actually helping solve
Mm,
something. When you give to an organization like Winchester Rescue Mission, that's not trying to be a lone ranger at solving this, but it's actually
mm,
working within a network. Um, Again, for that accountability piece, for that best practices piece, to know that what you're doing is not just a guess and a prayer, but it's
mm-hmm,
because you've worked with really incredible organizations across the country to
mm-hmm.
know how to do what you're doing best.
Yeah, yeah. And I know one of the kind of partner organizations with you guys, and they're actually here in Winchester's ECFA, and the partnership that, excuse me, Citygate Network and ECFA has is also incredible, because ECFA is helps to provide some of that financial accountability for rescue missions. And I would agree wholeheartedly. I think having this certain prestige of quality of services and of operations and facilities and things like that, and financials, the way we handle our financials, I think is so important, to make sure that if we're not doing our best, we have to address that, because we feel so passionately about what we're doing, and we need this level of accountability to ensure that we're continuing to do our best to best serve those whom we have the privilege of serving.
Absolutely. And, what I love so much about rescue mission work is every one of our ministries believe that everybody was created in the image of God, that
Mm,
everybody matters. And so, because of that, our level of expertise, our level of excellence matters, because we're serving people that matter.
yeah.
It's why, well, I just want to help isn't really good enough, because we're not just helping anybody, we're helping people created in the image of God. And so, if we're
Mm-hmm.
going to do it, if we're going to walk in this space, we want to do it with the best tools in our belt that we can possibly get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely agree. I love that. That's one of the things that I say frequently, like when I'll go out to the community, is I'll start, and I think it's on our verbatim on our website. How incredible is it that you and I are created in the image of God? And I think that really drives a lot of the work that we do. And by no means does it mean it's perfect. I mean, again, that's a big reason why we're a part of Citygate Network. That's a big reason, why we're continually seeking, further education, but trying to figure out how to love others well. I know that's something that you said and spoken to a lot of our staff here is, loving others well. And that comes with a level of accountability and a level of, just best practice in that. And so, yeah, I'm grateful that we get to be a part of something that holds us to a higher standard, and encourages us to do things differently, to kind of shift our paradigm and think of how to do things best. So. Well, awesome. Well, Brandon,
Awesome.
we miss you. I'm so glad to see that you are warm. I'm glad to see that you're doing well out at Citygate Network. Jay, our friend Jay Smith, just dropped. He's actually serving dinner tonight with Winchester Country Club. So he just dropped dinner off. He
Nice.
said hello, to tell you hello. I think he'll be coming out here in a little bit. But yeah, we miss you, and just I want to say that on behalf of everybody here at the Rescue Mission, our board, our staff, really this community and this organization, we miss you. But we're glad you're doing well. We love you, and we're so grateful for your leadership, the way that you took this organization, with such heart, with such passion, and we're grateful to have learned from you, and to have been behind you, and just so excited for everything that's still to come. As was
Yeah.
previously on your wall here, the best is yet to come, and I believe that wholeheartedly for you, and just so grateful for your leadership and passion in the work that we do.
Well, I will just tell, again, my family, we miss Winchester in a big way. My greatest, one of the greatest honors of my life was having the privilege of serving as the CEO of Winchester Rescue Mission. the community. You taught me so much, and you have given me really the platform that I have now. And I wouldn't be here, wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing had I not had the privilege of serving the Winchester Rescue Mission and the community of Winchester. So please know we love and we miss Winchester, and we think there's not a day that goes by that we don't think of Winchester, and we would long for the day where we can return in some capacity or another. So we love and miss you guys, and so grateful that you gave me the opportunity to serve in Winchester. And I hope I'm doing Winchester proud in all that we're doing.
I believe that you are. I really do. Um, all right. Well, I'm going to thanks so much. First of all, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me. I appreciate it. I would say it's good to see you, but I actually don't see you, but it's good to talk to you. Although I know I'll call you maybe once a week, twice a week, just to pick your brain on a couple of things when I can't figure something out. And I'm hoping that you, somewhere in your brain, you have some recollection of something. So I thank you for that. I think I'm going to take a quick break, eat something, and then get back to it. But tell Matt hello, tell him good luck, that we're thinking of him, and enjoy the rest of your, I don't know, 20 some hours left.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, try to stay warm and enjoy your time.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Brandon.
All right. Yep. Bye.
Bye.